Don't hurt Mr. Jason. Hey, buddy. This fellow who's my best friend, we were on the bench press, and he was spotting me, and he was leaned over, and he had this scapular. I said, what's that? And he'd seen me at church before at St. Bernadette's, and he said, you don't know about our Blessed Mother and the scapular? And, you know, I said, no. And he was kind of a jerk about it, and was telling me, well, you need to learn about, you know, and this guy was like, we almost got into an argument right there in this gym. It took him a year to get me to go to this Opus Dei evening of recollection. Afterwards, I went out with a guy. He was in med school at the time. This was in the 90s, and healthcare was the big, you know, we got to cut healthcare costs. And I said, aren't you concerned, you know, about not making as much money, you know, as a physician? You know, and he just looked at me and says, no, I'm not doing it for the money. You know, I'm doing it to take care of children. You know, at that point in my life, I just want to make a lot of money. But this message of having a deeper meaning with our work and being a married husband or a good salesman or a doctor to take care of other people, that was the message. It was so simple, and it wasn't intellectual. It was, I could see these guys trying to live it. That's for not even Catholic. That's the truth. I mean, we're happiest when we're taking care of other people because we're not thinking about ourselves. That makes sense.
How did you and Wendy meet?
I was her sales trainer when I got out of college, the first year after I got out of college. And like I tell people, it's the best sales job I've ever done. And so that's how we met, and then we got married a year later. And she converted on my birthday. We were at Mass, because she would go to Mass with me every Sunday. And she leaned over to me and said, well, I'm going to become Catholic. Happy birthday.
I kind of gave it to him as a birthday present. So thinking I was doing kind of him a favor, but really it was kind of God drawing me in. That's also when Vince met Opus Dei for the first time. And over the next course of a few years, I started seeing him have a lot of changes and becoming this kind of manly man of prayer, I like to jokingly call him. And but he just became a great spouse. I'd just come home from, I don't know, doing whatever, you know, grocery shopping, and there'd be a beautiful vase of flowers. And it's not my birthday. It's not, you know, an anniversary. And the card would, you know, just be something sweet. You know, Wendy, thanks for being my wife.
What'd you do good today?
I played with David good today.
We had Nicholas, our first son, who was born in '97.
Aren't they neat?
And then David, who was a little bit of a struggle too. We had a long hospital stay with him, but he got here safe and sound in '98.
They'll try to bite your finger.
And in 2000, in August, we had James, our first son, who had a genetic disorder that was fatal. And so he lived for 6 days. It still brings tears to my eyes to think about him. It was very, very hard to live through, humanly speaking. But as a Catholic and wanting to be Christ-like, I had to unite my suffering with Jesus' suffering, which he did for me, for everyone. James brought us great joys, our greatest joys and our greatest sorrows. But he also taught us what to love was. You know, you lose a child, then you realize what life is. Life is such a gift. Oh, and there's baby Johnny. He's the next baby in this baby book. Johnny. And then, of course, Johnny was born in 2001.
He is so handsome, isn't he?
And then about 8 weeks ago on May, let's see, what was the date? May 2nd, we had William Phillip, who also had the same genetic disorder as James did. And he lived for 4 days. William was a huge part of our family.
The ties that bind my parents and my brothers.
William had a purpose. As a mother, oh, I'll probably cry. I still do a lot. But you know, you always want your child to hold. But there again, I have to use those moments of tears for something good.
Why didn't you stop?
Why? If we stopped after James, we wouldn't have John, and if we stopped after Johnny, we wouldn't have William. So it's the incarnation of our love.